up, guys? GangstaPranksta bringing the weekly wrestling review for I don't know what week it is, but I'm extremely behind. It seems every so often I become, up to date and then just fall behind a shit ton. Originally, before my family came and lived with me, I was really close to like catching up on everything, and then those 2 weeks just dragged me so far back. And I'm catching up piece by piece, so that's cool. And here on the week, did I even do the intro? What up, guys? Welcome to the weekly wrestling review. If you're new to the show, it's where we talk everything about from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. I definitely didn't do that. And it feels good. It does. I love this series, but I don't get to do it as often as I'd like. Um, so thank you for watching. We're gonna be talking about some old wrestling, so I apologize if it's not what you're looking for, like up to date with Raw and stuff. We're gonna be talking about Money in the Bank, and then the 2 weeks of shows that followed that, everything that happened on Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, and Ring of Honor. So I'm gonna try and what I've been doing, with the past couple shows, just talking about certain stuff that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about Money in the Bank. I know SummerSlam just finished, and I just watched Money in the Bank. It was great. It was, yeah, makes me sad. But anyways, so I watched Money in the Bank. It was actually a really good show. Not that I wasn't expecting it to be a bad show. It was a really good show. I don't want to say really good because really good's like a must watch. It was a good show. At a 10, I'd give it like a 7 or an 8. Like, it was that good. There's a couple things I didn't like though. We'll talk about that in a second. First, I want to talk about the pre-show, the Shield versus the Usos for the tag team titles. This was a good tag team match. I really enjoyed watching this. It made me think, why wasn't this on the actual card? This match was that good. It should have been on the pay-per-view. And there's been a couple matches where it's oh shit, that sounds like a good match, and then it gets bumped off the actual show and onto the pre-card. I remember at WrestleMania 25, I believe, where it was supposed to be Miz and John Morrison taking on Primo and Carlito. I'm like, damn, I am looking forward to that match on WrestleMania, and then it got bumped off, and I think that was actually a dark match. It wasn't even a pre-show match, but this match really deserved to be on the card because it was a really solid match, better than other pre-show matches. This was definitely check it out. The first match on the card was Dean Ambrose, Fandango, Wade Barrett, Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, Damien, Sandow, Cody Rhodes in the World Heavyweight Money in the Bank match. This was a good match. I enjoyed this. Fun way to start the show. They had some fun spots. What do I want to Cody Rhodes. I really enjoyed Cody Rhodes' portrayal in this, not betrayal. He was betrayed later. But his portrayal in this, you actually thought that Cody might win the match. But he ended up getting screwed over betrayed by his friend Damien Sandow, and Damien ended up winning that. I've really been enjoying their feud over the past couple weeks. When Damien made, what's his face, Cody protector of the case, I just thought that shit was hilarious. Cody, I will appoint you protector. I was just that is so priceless. And Damien Sandow, I have really liked the way Damien's been handled. Okay, he won the Money in the Bank, and then his next match on Raw, he lost to Christian. I was like, what the fuck? He just won one of your biggest matches, and then he loses the next show? But he ended up saving himself because he's like, and still, your Money in the... So he kind of didn't completely kill him, it kind of saved him. And I love what's the new title he has for himself? The Uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion or something like that. I really like that. I really like Damien Sandow. His character, definitely more with the whole Money in the Bank. It just makes him that more arrogant and I'm the Money in the Bank, fuck you, look at me, So I really enjoy that, and especially his feud with Cody Rhodes and turning Cody into a babyface. I really think he should shave the mustache, because I think that's more of a heel look, the whole mustache thing. And and I think you should go clean face for a heel run. They should have a mustache versus beard match coming up, and I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, they might have at SummerSlam. I don't know if they had a match or not. I think they did, but mustache versus beard match. That, oh god, that'd be amazing. Oh shit, they gotta book that. But anyways, what else? Next we got Curtis Axel versus The Miz for the IC title. Pretty good match. Axel wins. Next we got Caitlyn versus AJ Divas title match. It was okay. AJ won. It wasn't as good as their last match at whatever the pay-per-view. Oh shit! I just remember Payback. I think it was. Um, Payback. They definitely had a better match than they did at Money in the Bank. Next we have Ryback versus Chris Jericho. Pretty good match. Ryback wins. I really don't know what they're doing with Ryback right now, because they're just like all over the place. You have them bullying people now and cheating to win. You know, what happened to this big monster that like stared everyone in the face and went toe to toe and feed me more and all this shit? Now he's just I really don't know what they're doing. Honestly, for SummerSlam, I was expecting uh Ryback, like what he's doing now with the whole bullying stuff, and then have Sheamus, because, Sheamus is be a star, blah, 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 1-800 fella, all that good stuff. And then you kind of have, like, did they do that with, I kind of think what they did with Mark Henry. I don't remember if they did the whole be a star thing, but pretty much have Sheamus and Ryback, two big guys slug it out. I think they should have had that at SummerSlam, but they might have, honestly. I really don't know the match card, but I don't think they did. But I think that's a feud that they should go to, Ryback and Sheamus. But, yeah, I haven't been enjoying Ryback as of late. Next we got Dolph Ziggler versus Del Rio for the world title. This was a good match. Del Rio wins by DQ. It was a good match. I really hated the ending. You had AJ come out and hit Del Rio with her title, like right in front of the referee. The referee wasn't even like knocked out or distracted or anything. She just got in and cost Ziggler, his world title match. I just thought it was such a shitty ending. Like, if they could have done like a better ending, if they wanted to do some DQ shit like this. I just thought the way it was on the pay-per-view was just the worst possible way, and just it looked terrible, honestly. And we'll talk more about the whole Ziggler, AJ, Big Langston thing later. Next, you got John Cena versus Mark Henry WWE title match. This is a good match. Cena wins. Just a good story with Mark Henry just, being the bigger, dominant person, bigger than Cena, and just overpowering him and stuff like that. That's always fun. And then Cena makes a comeback. 1, 2, 3. Or did he? I don't know if he made him tap out or pin. I don't remember. Whatever. And the main event, last but not least, RVD, Christian, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Sheamus, CM Punk in the All-Star Money in the Bank match. This was a really good match. Orton won. It was great to see RVD back, and I've really been enjoying RVD. I really didn't enjoy him, like, in his last few months in TNA. I just felt like he wasn't, like, if you watch his matches with Kenny King, who was the last person he was really doing stuff with, like, the matches were just whatever. Like, he just didn't seem to be into it at all. I guess I don't know the whole behind the scenes stuff, but I think he went on bad terms out on TNA. So but here, he seems revitalized. He's putting in effort, and we'll talk about a match that he had recently. He's been having some good matches. He had one with Jericho. Was it on the Raw after Money in the Bank? Let me just check. It was. We'll talk about that. He had a really good match with Chris Jericho on Raw. But good to see RVD. They kind of seem to be pushing him a lot already, which is very surprising. I thought they would keep him, in the U.S. title range, and then maybe, do some stuff in the world title, like with Del Rio or something. But he seems to be having a steady push, so that's cool to see that him coming from TNA hasn't, hindered him whatsoever. What else do we got? We had Paul Heyman come out. He cost Punk the match. That was cool to see. And Orton ended up winning, so he is now the Money in the Bank. Of course, we know at SummerSlam that he cashed in and the whole heel thing. I'm not really up to date on that. I just know that he cashed in and pinned somebody, and then him and Triple H something. something like that. But I have not seen it yet, so I can't really comment. So yeah, that was Money in the Bank. I really enjoyed it, except for the whole Dolph Ziggler Del Rio. The ending, the match was good. The ending was nah. And the Ryback Chris Jericho match. I just don't really like how Ryback's character is being portrayed. Just I don't know, and it just really messed up the match. What else we got? Next we got Raw. We had Brad Maddox let Cena choose who his opponent was for Money, or not Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. He ended up picking Daniel Bryan, and I love the crowd for that night. Like when he was, he did the whole tease, like, "Oh, should I pick 3MB?" And the crowd like, "Boo!" And the crowd was like, "Should I pick Great Khali?" The crowd was silent, and then they're all just chanting yes, like throughout the whole night. And he ended up choosing Daniel Bryan, and like Daniel Bryan has been like great. Honestly, I love watching him. He's having good matches. I want to talk about his match that he had, not on this Raw, the Raw after the whole gauntlet thing with Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, and Ryback. Going like 30 plus minutes. He had a really good match with Cesaro, and then had a good match with the fucking Ryback. The match with Jack Swagger, that was pretty short, but Daniel Bryan, he's awesome. I love fucking Daniel Bryan. He's the fucking man, goat, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He is it. So it's fun to see him again. Next we got Mark Henry, and the Shield attacks him. I don't really know where this whole thing is going. It's kind of random after, Mark Henry just pretty much pulled the biggest fuck you to the fans after saying, "I'm going to retire," and then not retire, and then just, now he's face now. So I have no idea. What else do we got? Oh, the whole Biggie Langston Dolph Ziggler thing. I really think they're gonna put AJ and Biggie in a relationship next. But like by the end of the year, like she's gonna be with so many different guys. Or by the end of her career, I'd say, Cena, Kane, Bryan, Punk, Ziggler. Fuck yeah, there's so many people. They just make her look like the biggest whore. Like I don't know what. Whatever. What else do we got? But the whole Ziggler thing, I don't know, it's just whatever to me. What else we got? Oh, the Wyatt family. I want to talk about the Wyatt family real quick. I hate their entrance. Now, their entrance is cool and stuff. I just don't get the whole, "we're coming," and then, he strikes the match, he puts it into Lantern, and then he blows it out. I'm like, that is so counterproductive. Like, whatever. That's all for effect. I understand that. And then when he comes out, his lantern has a switch. It's not even a fucking, a candle or anything. It's a fucking switch. It's a light. And he comes out with it. And I don't know. I mean, you have the whole candle thing in the promo, but when he comes out, he has a little light switch. Like, come on. That's just my little gripe there. What else? He had a whole thing with R-Truth. I really enjoyed this. I like the whole kiss on the head before he fucking hits his thing. It's just like an extra little thing that it's creepy. Just him kissing the guys and stuff and like kind of blessing them. I like it a lot. What else do we got? Oh, the CM Punk Lesnar confrontation. I enjoyed this a lot. Lesnar beat the shit out of Punk. I just love that. Punk coming back. Lesnar couldn't put him down even after all the brutal shit he was doing. And I really can't wait to see their match at SummerSlam. I heard a lot of people raving about it. That's good to hear. Because I didn't really think that they would mesh well. Like, they're two completely different types of people. And I'm really interested to see how well they gel in the ring. I mean, Punk's kind of like that guy that can have a good match with anybody. Like, I don't really remember the last time he's had a bad match. He's had Jericho, that's like kind of a given. But Daniel Bryan, that's another given. Cena, he has a really good match with Cena. He can just have really good matches. So, yeah, I guess he can have a good match with Lesnar. I'm really interested in seeing it. And what else do we got? The RVD Jericho match, that was really good. That one, like, almost 20 minutes. Like, that was just really long. But it was really good to see them back in the ring together. Next we got NXT. What else? What do I want to talk about? Oh, two things I want to talk about. On this NXT, we had the debut of Charlotte, which is Ric Flair's daughter. It was an okay match. Charlotte won. Um, but like watching her in that short match, I think she has a lot of potential. I mean, she's very athletic. She's beautiful. And I think she could be a pretty good divas wrestler, women's wrestler, whatever you want to call her, in the future. After you give her a couple months to train, let her learn her craft. I'd say keep your eye out on Charlotte. That and her dad's Ric Flair, so it's like, boom. In the main event here was the Wyatt family versus Adrian Neville and Corey Graves for the NXT Tag Team titles. It was a good match. Neville and Graves win, and they're the new Tag Team champions. I didn't expect this, but I guess this is kind of like full. This is kind of confirming that the Wyatt family is going to be a full-time roster member for WWE instead of doing the NXT stuff. So that's cool. Hopefully. What's his name? Neville's partner. What's his name? Oliver, I think? Oliver... Is it Oliver Gray? I know his name's Oliver. Hopefully he comes back, turns heel on Neville, like, oh, you found a new partner without me. How could you do that? And then he gets a new partner, and then they kind of feud there. But that'd be cool. But I'd like to see Adrian Neville kind of do a solo career and do some solo stuff instead of a tag team, but that's just me. Next we got Impact. This was the Destination X Impact, where Chris Sabin won the TNA World title. What else? There's a couple things I want to talk about. Oh, okay, so we're going to talk about more in the news section, but Doc, he was released from TNA, and the explanation they gave, to explain the release of Doc, they said that he quit because he didn't get the VP promotion thing, so he ended up quitting everything. Whatever, that's one way to explain it. I don't know. It's just because all this bullshit with TNA, and now it's starting to affect their storylines because they're releasing those wrestlers that are like in prominent things. So. Whatever. And then I guess that whole feud with Doc and Ken Anderson, down the drain. Goodbye. So anyways, that's that. Next we got what's his name? Greg Marchulio. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but Trent Beretta. I don't know if he's a full-time roster member for TNA, but at least he was for this night and the next night because he won the match and then he had the Ultimate X match. Good to see Trent Beretta in TNA. I always thought like he was pretty underused in WWE. Like he can, I think he could have been in a good tag team with like an Evan Bourne, but he could do that high flying stuff like with Justin Gabriel and all them. I don't know why they never utilized him, but that's that. And what else? Okay, the main event, Bully Ray and Chris Sabin for the TNA World title. Good match. Sabin wins and is the new TNA World Champion. I really like this. Like, I just thought it was an awesome moment for TNA, having Chris Sabin win. They've been pushing him very heavily since he returned. He pretty much gave him the X Division title right away. And then, he cashed it in for a world title and ended up winning the TNA World title. So that was pretty crazy. I already know that he lost, but my whole thing going into, like, when he won was like, okay, what are they going to do with him now? Are they just going to have him drop it to Bully Ray next time they face? Or are they going to give him a lengthy run? Maybe, keep it until Bound for Glory. And, as we all know, he ended up losing it, like, 2-3 weeks later. I'm not even sure, but, it wasn't even... Well, I haven't watched the Impacts up until when he lost, but I'm going to say it's a pretty lackluster title reign. Like, he didn't add anything to being world champion. Like, I honestly don't know why they even took the belt off Bully Ray. They should have had the crowd hyped. This would have made more more of a hatred for Bully Ray. You have it make it seem like Chris Sabin's gonna win. 1, 2, and then maybe an Aces and Eights member comes out, or I don't know, just do a screw job finish on Sabin, and then Sabin would would lose, and the crowd would even hate Bully Ray even more. I don't know. I honestly don't know why they took the title off if they were just gonna give him a couple-week title reign, but that's just me. Next we got SmackDown. Vince McMahon named Vicky as the new general manager. That's cool. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do with Teddy Long and Booker T now. You know, Teddy Long has been a part of SmackDown forever, like since 2002. It's been a really long time, and just not seeing him there anymore, it's kind of weird. So I don't know what they're gonna do with him next. Maybe manage somebody. Maybe a Biggie Langston, you know, have a whole African American thing going on. We'll have to wait and see. And Booker T, I don't know what they're going to do with him, honestly. I was thinking, like, what if Booker T returned to be a wrestler again? But I know he came back from surgery recently, elbow surgery or something, so I'm like, oh, maybe he's retired and stuff. I'd like to see Booker come back for one more match. Well, I guess he did with the whole Cody thing. Did he come back? I think he came back for Cody. I'm not sure. I don't even remember. What else do we got? Oh, this is the SmackDown where Damien names Cody the protector of the case. And then he hit him with it. That's about it for SmackDown. What about a Ring of Honor? Ring of Honor. I want to fucking talk about Steve Corino. I think I talk about him every time I do a weekly wrestling review and we talk about Ring of Honor. Steve Corino is just so fucking good with his little comments that just get me every time. Like they did a whole thing with Mike Bennett where he's like, he teased that he had a contract from WWE and a contract from Ring of Honor, and he's like, should I stay? Should I go? Blah blah blah. And Steve Corino's like, okay, so Bennett was like, should I stay or should I go to Connecticut? And Steve Corino's like, you should go. No, or you should stay. No, go. We're going to win the world title next week, and I'm taking this place down. So just little things, like little comments. He's just fucking hilarious to listen to on commentary. And then after watching this and all his little remarks, I'm like, you know who else was good on commentary? CM Punk. When he was on commentary in WWE for a while, he was so entertaining. I had to go on YouTube. I was looking up clips. I'm like, okay, best of CM Punk on commentary. And I found this whole thing of him on NXT with Josh Matthews and Michael Cole when they had the whole Divas season for NXT. And they just rip it apart the whole time. It is fucking hilarious. And then he did a whole... I think it was Superstars taping with Scott Stanford, and Scott at the time was new to the company. I don't think he had any wrestling background at the time, so CM Punk's just making fun of him like, you don't know anything about wrestling, why are you here? And he just fucking tortured him the whole show. It's really funny. So I love Steve Corino on commentary. He's really entertaining. If you haven't watched NXT, just listen to the commentary. The matches are awesome to watch, but the commentary is just like it's the cherry on the cake. Like, it's just amazing. What else do we got? We got Raw. This is the Raw where Daniel Bryan ran the gauntlet of Jack Swagger. He had an okay match with Jack Swagger. It was pretty much whatever. And then he faced Antonio Cesaro. They had almost like a Ring of Honor style match where they were just hitting it and doing everything and just going like 100 miles an hour. They had a really good back and forth match, and Bryan ended up winning. I think at that point when he beat Cesaro, he's at like 25 minutes of wrestling consistently. And then he faced Ryback as his third opponent, and they wrestled for about another 10 minutes. And he had a good match with Ryback too, like... Damn, Bryan's just the man. Shit, I can't say it anymore. He's just the fucking man. What else do we got on the show? Oh, shit. I want to talk about this segment because it was fucking terrible. Okay, so they were hyping... They had a Miz TV thing with all the girls from Total Divas, right? And it's pretty much just to promote the show for Sunday. Sunday when it debuted at the time. And for some reason, Miz is like, "Hey, Jerry," like he just started it, like, "Oh, I'm Miz. This is Miz TV. I'm here with the cast of Total Divas." Uh, and then he's like, "Jerry Lawler, come to the ring." And it's just so fucking random. Like, why does he need Jerry Lawler? And he's like, "Oh, Jerry, introduce yourself to everybody." So Jerry's like, "Oh, I know the Bellas. I know the Funkadactyls. I know Natalia. Oh, nice to meet you, JoJo." And then Eva Marie, she has like a stick up her ass or something. And she's like, "I don't like the way you're looking at me." And she slaps him. And then he just walks away. And that's the end of the segment. Like, it was so fucking bad. I don't know what they were thinking. It was so like, it wouldn't want me to make, like, I was already going to watch the show. But if I was like, should I watch the show after watching this? I'd be like, no. She's a cunt. Like, it did nothing to help promote this show, is what I'm trying to say. It was so bad. So fucking bad. And like I want to talk more. I'm going to talk more about Total Divas on the next weekly wrestling review. But I want to talk about something real quick about Total Divas. I enjoy watching it. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy it. I like the whole drama and stuff. And to look behind the scenes at some stuff. Okay, so it's basically following the Bellas, the Funkadactyls, Natalia, and then these two new chicks, JoJo and Eva Marie. So they're doing the whole Bellas, whatever. The problem I have with the show is, okay, with the two new girls, because one, you have JoJo. I don't know how a 19-year-old girl is a top prospect for WWE. Like, where in the world do you even, like, hey, you're 19, you're, like, we want to sign you to a WWE contract. Like, where in the fuck did this deal go down? Like, it blows, like, I don't understand why she was signed. Like, I don't know. I don't know why she was signed. And then Eva Marie, like, if you want a beautiful woman that doesn't know shit about pro wrestling, there's so many of them. Like, you've signed a bunch in the past. And the whole Eva Marie thing, she's gone against Stephanie McMahon. Or no. She dyed her hair blonde. Or no, she dyed her hair red when they said blonde. So she didn't listen once. And then she said she was a good dancer. And then she did the whole thing with Fandango. And it's like, this bitch is obviously not doing what you're saying. So just get rid of her. She's embarrassing you. She's lying to you. She's not listening to you. Like I said before, if you need a beautiful woman that doesn't know shit about wrestling, I use this analogy on the universe when I was talking about this. I said, if there was a crowd of people in front of my house and I had 5 rocks and I just throw them up in the air, 2 out of those 5 rocks are gonna hit beautiful women. Beautiful women are everywhere, and the majority of them don't know anything about wrestling. So I don't know what's so special about Eva Marie. Yeah. So, she went against management. She went against once, and then she pretty much lied to them. I think that's grounds for, like, they fired people for less. So, shit, just get rid of her. What else do we got? Next we got NXT. Okay, this is where Paige won the NXT Divas title. They had a good match. I didn't think Emma could have a good match, but she was wrestling with Paige, so that's why she did. So yeah, that was a good match. Paige wins and is the first NXT Divas champion. I really thought it was going to be Summer Rae and Paige, but because they were having the whole thing, but whatever. Next, I want to talk about Tyler Breeze. Holy shit, this match. It wasn't a problem with the match. It's just, okay, the match was about, I think, 30 seconds, maybe less. But the whole segment was like 5-7 minutes. And you're like, how the fuck you have a 5-7 minute segment and he's only wrestling for 30? His entrance alone was like a minute. And then he took pictures of himself for like 4 minutes. It was so like, what the fuck? Like, you could add a longer Divas match or a longer main event, but you fucking fill time with this stupid asshole taking pictures of himself? And I'm not gay, but he's not really a good-looking dude. Like, you've had good-looking dudes in your company before. I don't know what's so special about this guy. But yeah, what I don't know. It was just I fucking hated this. What else? Next we got Impact. This is what's this Impact? Um, oh, this is where they crowned the new X Division champion. So they had Manic, Sanjay Dutt, and Greg Marchulio. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. In an Ultimate X match for the X Division title. It was a good match. Manic wins and is the new X Division champion. I want to take a second real quick to talk about the new X Division title. It looks absolutely ridiculous. It looks like a pile of shit. Like, I honestly don't know what was wrong with the other X Division title. And this is just an unnecessary expense for TNA. Actually, not really, because they pretty much just stole the Intercontinental title. I don't think that cost them anything. And then they just put a big X on it. It is so fucking hideous. I honestly don't know why they changed the title. And plus, you're having all these fucking money troubles. Why do you need to change the title? Like, I think a brand new title or something like that is like 50 grand, maybe less. Especially if you're just stealing the IC title. You know, you just take that out of the trash and put a big X on it. But that title just looks fucking horrible. I don't know. I guess they just killed X Division. Like, honestly, it's no longer like a big red X to symbolize the X Division. I know before they changed the rules with the whole. Oh, and the whole camera thing. I totally forgot about that. Okay, so a couple months ago, they're like, oh, we're gonna have three-way matches, and we're gonna have this stupid camera thing for all new action, so it feels like you're in the ring. Dropped the camera thing like the next week, and now they're going back to one-on-one matches for the X Division title. They never should have went triple threat, because you can't really build a story if every match is a triple threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't build a one-on-one feud in a triple threat match, because it's always going to be like some random third guy, P.D. Williams, what's it called, Sanjay Dutt, somebody. Like, I think the whole, like, Kenny King and Chris Sabin, they were having a good feud, but you had the third man. I think it was P.D. Williams, and it was just so unnecessary. I think they could have just had a good one-on-one match, Kenny King and Sabin, but whatever. They learned their lesson. They're going back to one-on-one matches. So the X Division title looks like shit. What else? Oh, this is the episode where fucking Bully Ray was like, I have my lawyer, and if you don't give me my title back, I'm gonna sue the company. I thought this was hilarious. Like, what are you gonna get, Bully Ray? A couple bucks? Like, are you fucking kidding me? All these money troubles, and then they're gonna do a whole storyline with, I'm gonna sue the company. It just looks so shitty from, like, I guess a smart fan, like a regular fan probably wouldn't give a shit about this. I probably wouldn't know about all the money troubles that TNA's having. But as a smart fan, where, like, TNA can barely pay for the wrestlers and pay to go on the road and paying people late, and then he's gonna sue them for not giving him the title or whatever. I just thought it looked really stupid on TNA's part. Like, they just looked really ridiculous. Next we got Smackdown. I don't think there was anything I really wanted to talk about here. Oh, this was the Smackdown where Cody stole the briefcase and then chucked it in the river. Just one thing I want to talk about is when Cody was on the pier, ready to chuck the briefcase, and he's like, Sandow's like, no, don't chuck it. You know, you're smarter than me, and you have better facial hair than me. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And then he ended up chucking it, but that was funny. Next, we got Ring of Honor. Nothing really to talk about here. This was Matt Hardy versus Jay Briscoe for the ROH World Title. I can't wait for the Steel Cage Warfare match. Team Ring of Honor versus Scum. See where that goes, and see where the whole Briscoes, because you know the whole Briscoe thing, they left, and then they had a tournament for the world title. I want to see how that's progressing, so we'll talk about that more on the next weekly wrestling review. Okay, so that's it for reviews. We're going to talk a little bit more about some new stuff. Let me just pick what I want to talk about. So I want to talk about TNA a little bit more. So we all know, they're having their money issues and stuff like that. And, you know, they ended up releasing a couple more people. I know it's been a while, but, you know, they released a couple more people at this time frame when I did these reviews. So first they released Tara. Who else? They released Luke Gallows, Doc. They released D'Lo Brown and Bruce Pritchard. And I think that's... No, and they released Jesse Sorensen. Yes. And, I think that's it. Is that it? Okay, yeah, that's all the people they deleted, got rid of. So let's break them down one by one. So Tara, you know, that kind of sucks because, you know, she was just getting a push with the whole bromance thing with Robbie E and Jesse. So she's kind of going to be like their manager, but now she's gone. Apparently she was like the highest paid knockout, so that was the reason for letting her go. What else do we got? Luke Gallows, I really don't know why they deleted him. Or I keep saying deleted. Got rid of him. I'm thinking my universe when I say delete. So I don't know why they got rid of Doc. I was kind of looking forward to the whole like inner battle between like Ken Anderson and Doc, and like what that would lead to. But I guess we'll never see it. Or maybe that's like he might make a comeback. I don't know. I just think it's really shitty that he got released during the whole storyline thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that looks terrible on TNA's part. What else? Who's the other person that got released? Oh, D'Lo Brown and Bruce Pritchard. So D'Lo Brown, he hasn't appeared much. You know, he got removed from his position in Aces and Eights, and then he's kind of like their coffee boy, but he's not there anymore, so whatever. And Bruce Pritchard, I think he was doing stuff backstage. Like, I know he was doing stuff with Gut Check, and he was one of the judges. So I don't know his situation too much. So yeah, I don't know. D'Lo was kind of whatever, but I know he worked for TNA backstage, so I guess that's a big loss for them. But as far as on-air talent, it was whatever. But I think he's gone from the company completely. So. And last but not least, Jesse Sorensen. You know, him getting released. That's actually very shocking, because he was, you know, he got injured. You know, his career almost. I don't know if he's retired as a wrestler. But his active in-ring career at that time was pretty much ended in TNA because of Zema Ion and that move. And, you know, he broke his neck for TNA, and then they end up releasing him. And releasing him is like a double-edged sword. Like, maybe, you know, things weren't working out, but, you know, releasing him, or maybe, you know, he wanted to be released or whatever, it's like you're going to get all this backlash because, you know, he did break his neck in your ring, well, outside of the ring, but in your company's hands, and then you end up letting him go. So they were going to get backlash either way for releasing him, so that sucks for their part, but I always wanted to see him make a comeback. Like, when he made a comeback, shit. Not last Destination X, I think the one last year. When he's like, oh yeah, my neck's feeling better, you know, I might be coming in the ring soon or whatever. I was like, okay, him, Zema Ion, Bound for Glory, the story's already there, let's go, rematch. And they never ended up doing it. Like, I just thought that was a big, I don't want to say a big money match, but that's a bit, I would have liked to see that match, you know what I'm saying? What else do we got? Oh, yes, okay, so, of course, you know, TNA having, pay issues and people being paid late. It's being reported that even Hulk Hogan was getting paid late, which is actually pretty shocking because, you know, it's fucking Hulk Hogan, and him getting paid late is, yeah, it's actually, he's probably the biggest name in TNA, and if he's getting paid late, then, you know, something's up. So he's getting released, or not released, he's getting paid late. Apparently, you know, being on the road week to week is very expensive for TNA. Apparently, it is $600,000 to film Impact, but it's not like they do every week. It's like they do 2 Impacts I think it's 2 impacts in the same arena. Like they'll tape one impact and then they'll tape the other. I think right after, either the next day. And I'm actually not sure about that. I think they tape 2 impacts when they're in one arena, and then they'll do the next one. But apparently that's costing them a lot of money, and they've been releasing a bunch of people so they can make the money back, kind of, sort of, by not having to pay people. And one thing I want to talk about was like a house show that they had recently, where apparently only 8 of people on the roster showed up for a house show. 8 people? 8 people for a fucking house show? And apparently it was an issue on TNA's hands because they didn't get the paperwork right for some of the people that were supposed to appear. Like, I know Chris Sabin, he didn't appear. Gail Kim, Brooke Tessmacher, Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, they all didn't appear. Here are the results for the actual show. So it was Bully Ray vs. James Storm, Devon vs. Gunner, Samoa Joe vs. Bobby Roode, Gunner and James Storm vs. Team 3D. So they pretty much, James Storm, Gunner, and the Dudleys had to wrestle twice because there wasn't enough people to have matches. And then it was Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle. That is embarrassing. Like, that is not looking good for your company if fucking 8 people are at a house show. That is just looks terrible. Fucking terrible. I don't know. There's a lot of issues going on with TNA. And, there even more, Tito Ortiz was revealed as the August 1 warning. And, everyone was so thrilled about that. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about TNA. I mean, they've been in this situation before where they've had money troubles, and they're still around. But now more than ever. And the one thing that gets to me is, like, they release all these people, but they're always like, oh, we want more talent. Oh, we're always looking for new talent. It's like you can't even pay the talent you have now. So unless you want new talent that works for pretty much free, like, chill your fucking tits. Focus on what you have, get everything situated, and just have a good product, and people will come in and stuff. But I have no fucking idea. I just think TNA, I don't know. I don't know about, like, their update. Like, this is pretty much end of July stuff. I don't know how they are, like, middle of August. Is it worse? Is it bad? You guys can let me know in the comments. And, yeah, that's about it. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time for more weekly wrestling review. We're just going to be catching up on the regular shows. I don't think there was any paper. Actually, there was the TNA, one of the one-night onlys. I think the original, where they had a bunch of people from, like, the early stages of TNA. I think that I have to watch that. We might have a review for that next time I do a weekly wrestling review. And then, we got to catch up to SummerSlam, so I'm pretty behind. I apologize, but I'm trying to work my ass off and get back there. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time. Until then, guys, peace out.